My name is Kathy R. McElroy. I'm 35 years old, and that night was the first time I heard a person sound completely calm while her entire life was collapsing. I picked up and said, "You good?" There was silence. Then Darla said, "Colin got someone pregnant." I pulled the headphones off completely. "Darla? What?" Her voice stayed flat, almost mechanical. "My husband got Felicia pregnant." The air left the room. "Your sister, Felicia?" "Yes, my sister." I stood up so fast my chair rolled backward. "Are you sure?" She laughed once, but there was no humor in it. 3 years ago I had the procedure, remember? Colin and I agreed. No kids. Mutual decision. I never told anyone except you. I remembered. Late night bar conversation, both of us tired and honest. She told me she had done it because they wanted freedom, travel, careers, no children. She asked me to keep it quiet. I did. She announced it 2 weeks ago, Darla continued. Excited, glowing. Everyone clapped. I stayed quiet and got testing done through a doctor I know. Discreet. I gripped the edge of the mixing board. And? Felicia's baby is Colin's. The name landed like glass breaking. Colin, Darla's husband. Felicia, her younger sister. The family's golden girl. Charming and reckless and always protected. How long? I asked. Over a year. Hotels, lies, receipts, messages, all of it. Her voice cracked for 1 second, then went cold again. She told me she confronted Colin and Felicia together the day before. They admitted it. Felicia cried and said she had fallen in love. Colin said the marriage was already dying, like that made betrayal sound mature. Then Darla went to her parents and her sister Rowena because she thought at least blood would stand beside her. The way she said it made my chest tighten. What happened? I asked. They told me to forgive him. She laughed again, bitter and hollow. My mother looked me in the eye and said I needed to be the bigger woman. My father said divorce would destroy everyone. Rowena said I was being selfish because the baby is innocent. I could barely speak. Darla went on. They want me to stay married. Let Felicia be the involved aunt. Keep everything quiet for the family reputation. The rage in my throat almost came out as screaming. Where are you right now? Home. Alone. Colin is at his mother's. Felicia is probably at our parents' house pretending she's the victim. There was a long pause. I don't know what to do. The studio hummed around me, quiet and electric. I thought about Darla, steady, loyal Darla, the woman who worked hard, loved quietly, never made drama, always protected everyone else first, and they wanted her to just take it. I sat down, stared at the board and said, "Then burn it all down." Silence. "You mean that?" she asked. "Every word. They chose her over you. Your husband slept with your sister, and your family wants you to smile for their reputation. So yes, burn it down." I heard her exhale slowly. When she spoke again, something had shifted. Not broken, not angry, something colder. "Okay, but I need you to trust me. Anything! This will take time. And you need to be the only person who knows what I'm really doing. What are you planning? Meet me tomorrow. Your studio. After hours. Of course." A pause. Then Darla said, "They think I'm weak. They think I'll accept this. And you won't?" "No," she said, her voice turning to ice. "But for now, they need to think I will." After she hung up, I sat alone in the studio with the phone still in my hand and realized something. I had just told my best friend to start a war, and I meant every word. 2 days later, Darla filed for divorce. I got the text from her at 9:00 a.m. Papers served, I'm out. That was it. No explanation, no crying emoji, no long paragraph about betrayal. Just done. I called her immediately. Voicemail. I texted back. Nothing. By noon, my phone was blowing up, but not from Darla. Mutual friends started asking if I had heard what happened. Is Darla okay? Did she really leave Colin? What the hell is going on? I played dumb so well it made me sick. I said I did not know details. I said she was probably processing. I said everyone should give her space. That night, she showed up at my studio through the side door. I was setting up microphones for a session when I heard the lock turn. Darla walked in carrying 2 duffel bags and a backpack. That was all she had taken from 7 years of marriage. No wedding albums, no favorite dishes, no framed photos. Just clothes, documents, and whatever part of herself she could still carry. You leaving town? I asked. Something like that. She dropped the bags near the couch where artists usually waited between takes. She already looked different, like the shock had burned away one layer of softness. I got a new job. Industrial design firm about 90 minutes north. Better position, better pay. I stared at her. When did you... Since our call, she said. I signed a lease this morning. Small place. They don't know the address. They? Any of them. Her jaw tightened. New phone number tomorrow. Only you, my lawyer, and my therapist will have it. I sat across from her. You're disappearing. Completely. Her eyes met mine, harder than I had ever seen them. I need you to keep this secret. When people ask, tell them we drifted apart. Tell them you haven't heard from me. Can you do that? Yes, I said. But why? Because they need to think I gave up. She leaned forward and showed me 2 contacts on her phone. Morton and Associates, Forensic Accounting. Keegan Investigations. I'm not fighting the divorce right now. Not contesting anything. Whatever Colin wants, he gets. House, money, all of it. Darla, that's insane. No, she said. It's strategy. That was how it started. For the next 6 months, I became Darla's only connection to the world she left behind. We met once a week, never in the same place twice. Diners 40 minutes out. Parks where nobody knew us. My studio after midnight, when the halls were empty. She told me what she was finding. I told her what they were saying, and what they were saying made my blood boil. Colin's lawyer moved fast, claiming Darla had abandoned him during a family crisis. He asked for temporary support and painted himself as emotionally devastated. Felicia started showing up everywhere with him. Coffee shops, grocery stores, family events. She posted a photo with the caption, "Sometimes life gives you unexpected blessings." The comments were full of hearts from people who had no idea what kind of blessing was built on betrayal. Darla's family closed ranks. Bernard and Constance told relatives Darla had suffered a breakdown, that she could not handle the pressure of marriage, that Colin and Felicia were simply trying to move forward with compassion. Rowena posted vague messages about supporting loved ones through difficult transitions. Everyone clapped for the performance. I wanted to scream the truth every day. I wanted to post the texts, the hotel receipts, the timelines, everything. But I had promised Darla. So when friends asked, I lied. We don't really talk anymore. When my own brother asked if I had heard from her, I said no. When her name came up at parties and people shook their heads like she was unstable, I changed the subject before rage ruined my face. Meanwhile, Darla changed. The weight came off first, then muscle replaced it. She started dressing sharper, cutting her hair cleaner, walking like every step had a destination. But the biggest change was in her eyes. They went cold, focused, almost frightening. One night, 4 months in, she brought banker's boxes full of files to my studio. I looked at her and asked, "Are you okay?" She smiled, but it was not the warm smile I grew up with. "I'm better than I've been in years." I shook my head. "You don't seem better, you seem scary." Her smile widened slightly. "Good." The investigator found the affair had started long before the pregnancy. Hotel receipts, call logs, messages, Felicia using a family credit card Bernard had given her for work expenses. Then the forensic accountant found something worse. Colin had been moving money from their joint accounts into a private account Darla never knew existed. Over 18 months, he had skimmed $83,000. He planned the exit, Darla said, sliding the spreadsheet toward me. The affair, the money, the story, all of it. And still, Colin was winning in public. Still, Felicia was being praised. Still, Darla was the unstable wife who ran away. Then the baby came. A boy. Colin posted the photo. "Welcome to the world, little man." Hundreds of likes, dozens of congratulations. I called Darla furious. "How are you not losing your mind?" Her voice was calm. "Because I know something they don't." "What?" She paused. "The divorce finalizes in 2 weeks. He's getting everything he asked for." "And you're letting it happen?" "Yes," she said, "because he needs to think he won." The divorce finalized on a Thursday in March. Darla signed everything, did not contest a single line, and let Colin walk away looking like the wounded husband who had been abandoned by an unstable wife. He got the house, the same house Darla had paid the down payment on, repaired, furnished, and protected for 7 years. He got support, $4,200 a month for 5 years. He got a lump sum, $60,000 in cash. The retirement account was split down the middle. When her lawyer called me that afternoon, her voice was tight with disbelief. "I don't understand what she's doing. We could fight this," I said. "She knows what she's doing," and hung up, though, if I am honest, I was not sure I believed it yet. That weekend, I heard through a friend who heard through another friend that Colin threw a party. He called it a freedom party, like he had escaped something instead of destroyed it. Family came. Friends came. People from his office came. Felicia co-hosted in a new dress, glowing beside him like betrayal had given her better lighting. I saw the stories online because I could not stop myself. Colin laughing in the kitchen. Felicia with her hand on his shoulder. Bernard raising a glass. Constance posting a photo captioned, "Family is everything." Red heart emoji. I closed the app before I threw my phone across the studio. 2 weeks later, Felicia moved into the house completely. Not visiting. Not helping with the baby. Moved in. She posted photos of renovations. New paint in the living room. A different couch. New nursery curtains. Every update erasing Darla like she had never lived there. Then came the engagement ring. Big, expensive, vulgar in that way. People choose when they want strangers to mistake volume for love. Colin posted it with a caption about building a future from unexpected blessings. The comments were nauseating. "You two are perfect. Love wins. That baby is so lucky." I called Darla from a coffee shop parking lot because I could not sit still. "Did you see?" "I saw," she said. Calm. Always calm now. "How are you not losing your mind?" "Because anger is useless right now." I heard typing in the background. "Did you see Felicia's segment?" I pulled it up. The title made my stomach turn. "Love in Unexpected Places. Local journalist finds family." 5 minutes of Felicia speaking softly about second chances and unconventional love. Colin appeared halfway through holding the baby, saying he was grateful for people who stepped up when life got complicated. No mention of Darla. Not once. Not as the wife. Not as the betrayed spouse. Not as the woman whose life they had carved apart and repackaged as inspiration. That was when I realized they had not just won the divorce. They had won the story. Darla was the unstable wife who ran away. Colin was the abandoned husband who found comfort. Felicia was the brave sister who stepped in. The baby was innocent, so everyone used him as a shield. And the public swallowed it whole. It got worse. Mutual friends stopped asking about Darla. Her name disappeared from group chats. Rowena posted old family vacation photos where Darla had clearly been cropped out, literally cut from the frame. At a summer barbecue, someone called the Vances such a strong family and praised Felicia for handling scandal with grace. I had to walk away before my face betrayed me. Some nights I questioned everything. I called Darla after midnight once, half drunk, furious and afraid. What if this destroys you more than them? What if revenge costs more than moving on? Her voice did not waver. This is not revenge. It is justice. Justice requires patience. They are living in your house, I said. They think you lost, she answered. Exactly. They need to think it is over. 3 weeks later, she sent me the investigator's final report. I read it in my car outside the studio, and every page made the betrayal uglier. The affair had not started a year ago. It had been almost 2 years. Hotels, weekend lies. Felicia's family credit card charged for rooms she called work expenses. Colin's hidden account was not $60,000. It was $83,000. Skimmed from joint funds little by little, always after Darla's paychecks hit. He had lied under oath and claimed he only learned about Darla's procedure after the pregnancy, but the investigator found the consent forms, both signatures, both dates. He had known the entire time. Then came the part that made me sit frozen for 20 minutes. Felicia had a pregnancy scare months before the baby. She told Colin, not Darla. Colin panicked and told her the timing was wrong. She ended it. Then she got pregnant again and kept it. This was not romance. It was calculation. I called Darla. I just read it. I know. This is insane. No, she said. This is evidence. What happens now? Her voice sharpened. Next Tuesday, I file a sealed motion to vacate the divorce decree for fraud. Then the civil lawsuit begins. I stopped breathing for a second. They will see it coming. No, she said. They won't. 4 days later, my phone rang. Darla. I was in the studio alone, staring at a mix I had stopped hearing 10 minutes earlier. I answered before the second ring. The judge approved it, she said. For a second, I forgot how to speak. The sealed filing. Approved. Emergency hearing in 3 days. Her voice was steady, but there was something underneath it now. Not fear. Momentum. They found out this morning. I leaned against the console. What did they do? Constance left 6 voicemails. Felicia sent 11 texts. Colin's lawyer sent a threatening email about frivolous litigation. A pause. I deleted everything without reading it. Jesus, I whispered. I need you there, Darla said. Front row. Wednesday, 9 a.m. Courthouse downtown. Wear your best suit. Why? Because when they see you sitting behind me, they'll know. Know what? That I was never alone. I did not sleep the night before the hearing. I kept thinking about 6 months of silence, 6 months of watching Colin and Felicia turn betrayal into a love story, while Darla collected every lie like kindling. I put on my charcoal gray suit, the one I wore when something mattered, and got to the courthouse early. The building was old, all marble floors and echoing hallways, the kind of place where whispers sounded guilty. The courtroom was already filling when I walked in. Colin's side was packed. Bernard in a dark suit, jaw set, like he had come to defend the family name. Constance beside him, clutching her purse. Rowena sat behind them, eyes forward. Felicia sat next to Colin, holding his hand like she was the wronged woman in some tragic romance. Colin's parents were there too, stiff and defensive. Friends scattered across the rows, all pretending not to stare. They saw me enter. Confusion moved through them like a draft. I did not acknowledge anyone. I walked straight to the front row on Darla's side and sat directly behind where she would be. Bernard turned. I stared back. Felicia's mouth tightened. At 8:58, Darla walked in. I barely recognized her. The woman who had called me that night sounded hollow, almost gone. The woman entering that courtroom wore a tailored navy suit, sharp hair, calm eyes, and a posture that made the room adjust around her. She did not look at them. Not once. She sat at the plaintiff's table beside Patricia Wu, her attorney, a woman in her 40s with the kind of stillness predators probably envy. At exactly 9, Judge Marion Hendricks entered. 60s, gray hair pulled back, eyes that missed nothing. Colin's lawyer rose first. Your Honor, this motion is without merit. My client was awarded a fair settlement in good faith. Miss Vance is simply a vindictive ex-wife. I'll decide what has merit, Judge Hendricks said. Sit down. Patricia stood. Your Honor, my client's ex-husband committed systematic fraud. He lied under oath, concealed marital assets, and conspired with her younger sister to destroy my client financially and personally while enriching himself. We are not here to relitigate heartbreak. We are here to expose fraud. The courtroom went silent. Her first witness was the forensic accountant. He walked through joint accounts, statements, transfers, patterns. Over 18 months, Colin had moved $83,417 into a private account Darla never knew existed. Patricia projected the evidence line by line. Small transfers first, then larger ones. Always after Darla's income hit. Always mislabeled as savings or personal expenses. Did Mr. Hayes have a legal obligation to disclose this account during divorce proceedings? Patricia asked. Absolutely, the accountant said. Failure to disclose assets during divorce is fraud. Colin's face drained of color. Then came the investigator. Hotel receipts, call logs, calendar entries Felicia had labeled as girls' nights, and work retreats. Texts between Felicia and Colin. She's working late again. Room 412? Told Dad I needed the card for station equipment. When should we tell her? I'm tired of hiding. The affair was not a mistake. It had a schedule. Then Patricia displayed the medical consent forms. Darla's procedure, dated 3 years earlier, with Colin's signature beside hers. During the divorce, he had testified he did not know about it until after Felicia's pregnancy. The paper proved otherwise. He lied under oath, Patricia said. Colin's lawyer objected. Judge Hendricks did not even blink. Overruled. Then Patricia called Colin to the stand. He tried to look wounded. Patricia dismantled him in minutes. Anniversary texts to Darla. Love notes written while he was already sleeping with Felicia. Hidden bank transfers. False testimony. And finally, messages to his attorney where he had asked whether claiming emotional abuse would help him look abandoned. The courtroom erupted in gasps. Judge Hendricks slammed her gavel. For the first time all morning, Colin looked at Darla. She did not look back. Day 2 felt different, before anyone even spoke. Word had spread. Reporters stood outside the courthouse with cameras, and people who had never cared about Darla when she vanished suddenly wanted front-row access to the truth. I sat in the same place, directly behind her. Colin's side looked smaller that morning. Some friends who had filled the benches the day before were suddenly absent. Public sympathy is brave, until evidence walks in wearing a suit. Judge Hendricks entered at 9 sharp. Patricia Wu stood and said, "We call Felicia Vance." Felicia went rigid. Her hand slipped out of Colin's. She walked to the stand with the stiff grace of someone who had spent her life being protected and had no idea how to stand alone. After she was sworn in, Patricia began softly. "Miss Vance, how long have you worked at Channel 7 News?" 4 years, Felicia answered. "And your current position?" "Senior correspondent." Patricia clicked a remote, and an email chain appeared on the screen. "This is correspondence between your father, Bernard Vance, and Gregory Wilmot, station manager. Your father wrote, 'Greg, Felicia has been working hard. Any chance you could give her a look for the senior position?' Mr. Wilmot replied, 'For you, Bernie? Consider it done.'" Felicia's face tightened. "I was qualified." Patricia did not blink. "That was not my question. Did your father use a personal connection to secure your promotion?" Felicia said nothing. The silence answered. Then Patricia moved to the credit card. The same family card Bernard had given Felicia for work expenses. Hotels, restaurants, flowers, jewelry, $28,300 connected to the affair with Colin. "Money from a family trust intended for all Bernard Vance's children," Patricia said. "You used family money to sleep with your sister's husband. What would you call that?" Felicia whispered, "A mistake." Patricia looked at the judge. "A repeated one." Next came Constance. Darla's mother walked to the witness stand like every step hurt. She would not look at Darla. Patricia asked about the family meeting after Darla discovered the affair. Constance folded her hands. "We discussed things as a family." And what did you advise your daughter to do? We suggested forgiveness. Did you tell her to be the bigger woman? Constance's lips trembled. I don't remember the exact words. Patricia lifted a small recorder. Your Honor, single-party consent recording, legally obtained. The audio filled the courtroom. Bernard's voice. Divorce would destroy everyone. Think bigger than yourself. Constance's voice. Felicia needs support right now more than you do. Rowena's voice. The baby is innocent. You're only thinking about your pain. Then Darla's voice, thin but steady. He is not my child. He is hers. With my husband. Constance again. Sometimes women have to sacrifice for family harmony. Patricia stopped the recording. The courtroom was silent enough to hear someone inhale. Did you really tell your daughter that the sister who got pregnant by her husband needed more support than she did? Constance began crying. We were trying to keep the family together. By asking Darla to disappear inside her own humiliation? Patricia asked. Constance had no answer. Rowena was called next. She looked defeated before she reached the stand. Colin's lawyer tried to guide her into defending the family, but Rowena broke. We were wrong, she said, voice cracking. We protected Felicia. We cared about the reputation, the baby, the headlines. We did not think about Darla enough. She finally looked at her sister. I'm sorry. Darla did not move. Sometimes an apology arrives too late to deserve a reaction. Bernard testified last. Patricia made him confirm the family trust, the credit card, the connection he used for Felicia's promotion, and the fact that he had not known Felicia spent nearly $30,000 on hotels and gifts. His face turned red, then gray. For the first time, he looked at Felicia with betrayal instead of protection. Then Patricia called me. I stood, walked to the witness stand, and swore to tell the truth. She asked how long I had known Darla. Since we were 10. What kind of person is she? I looked at my best friend's back. Loyal, careful, too willing to carry pain quietly. After discovering the affair, did she threaten anyone? No. Did she want revenge? I paused. She wanted the truth recorded somewhere they could not edit it. That was the last clean cut before the ruling. Patricia's closing was brutal. Colin had committed fraud. Felicia had conspired. The family had enabled the lie. Darla had been erased publicly while robbed privately. Judge Hendricks recessed for 20 minutes. When she returned, the room felt electric. This is one of the most egregious cases of marital fraud I've seen in 20 years, the judge said. She vacated the divorce decree. Colin's support ended immediately. He was ordered to return the house or pay Darla half its value. He had to repay the hidden $83,000, the $60,000 settlement, and Darla's legal fees. The case was referred for perjury investigation. Felicia would face a separate civil suit for conspiracy. The gavel fell. Colin collapsed into his chair. Felicia stared at the floor. Darla stood without smiling. She had not come there to celebrate. She had come to make the truth survive. The fallout was immediate. By that afternoon, Channel 7 released a statement saying Felicia Vance had been terminated effective immediately due to conduct violations and ethics concerns. By evening, her face was all over the same local news cycle that once praised her. Not as the charming correspondent, not as the woman who found love in unexpected places. This time, she was the scandal. Local journalist fired after fraud hearing. Family trust money used in affair. Divorce decree vacated after explosive court testimony. The headlines were cleaner than the damage, but at least the truth finally had a public shape. Colin's perjury investigation moved faster than anyone expected. He pleaded out eventually. Probation, fines, no jail time, but a conviction that followed him everywhere. The house went back into dispute. His accounts were frozen, and wage garnishment took a piece of every paycheck before he could pretend he was starting over. Felicia's civil case dragged on longer, but her career was finished almost overnight. No station wanted her. No sponsor wanted her face near a community segment. The public had loved her story when she controlled it. They hated it once the missing woman stepped back into the frame. Bernard and Constance did not survive it either. 3 weeks after the ruling, Bernard filed for separation. He blamed Constance for protecting Felicia too much. Constance blamed him for building Felicia into the kind of daughter who believed rules were for other people. Rowena sent Darla one email with the subject line, "I'm sorry." Darla deleted it without opening it. When I asked why, she said, "Some apologies are just people trying to feel clean." 3 months later, I met Darla for dinner in public for the first time in over a year. No secret parking lots, no midnight studio meetings, no hiding behind fake distance. We chose a restaurant downtown with low lights, cloth napkins, and a wine list neither of us understood. She looked healthy now, not hollow like the night she called me, and not cold like the woman who walked into court. Something softer had returned, but not the old softness people could use. We ordered dinner and talked about ordinary things first. Work, music, a band I was producing, a design project at her new firm. For a while, it felt like we were 10 again, sitting on the curb between our houses, talking like the world was still simple. Then I asked, "Do you ever think about them?" Darla set down her fork and took her time. "Sometimes, but not the way people assume. I don't think about what they did as much anymore. I think about who I became after." I nodded. "They thought your silence was weakness. They thought disappearing meant defeat," she said, "but all it did was give me time to become untouchable." That word stayed between us for a moment. Untouchable. Not because she was cruel, not because she had no scars, but because they had nothing left to take. No house, no story, no reputation, no version of events where Darla was the villain, and they were the wounded survivors of her anger. "What about Colin?" I asked. "Working 2 jobs, paying back what he stole, living with his parents for now." She looked out the window. "Felicia blames him for everything. He blames her. Their great love did not survive consequences." There was no satisfaction in her voice, only recognition. "And you?" I asked. "Are you okay?" For once, she smiled like the Darla I remembered. "I'm getting there." Then, almost shyly, she added, "I'm seeing someone. His name is Ethan. We met at work. It's slow, careful. He knows enough." I felt something in my chest loosen. "Good," I said. "You deserve careful." She laughed softly. "Maybe I do." After dinner, we stood beside our cars in the cool night air. The city hummed around us, indifferent and alive. Darla looked at me and said, "Thank you for keeping the secret, for sitting behind me, for telling me to burn it all down when I needed permission to stop protecting people who were destroying me." "I'd do it again," I said. "Choose your side every single time." She hugged me then, not like someone breaking, but like someone finally whole enough to hold on. Then she got into her car and drove away. I stood there, watching her taillights disappear, and thought about that phone call at 11:33 p.m., about the woman who did not know what to do, about the family that mistook her grief for surrender. They thought they broke her. They thought they won. But all they did was give her time. Time to document every lie, build an unbreakable case, and become someone they could no longer touch. And if the world ever asks me whether I regret helping her disappear, the answer is no. I would choose her side again, every single time.